Hi, welcome to the Me and You podcast, episode 2. This is Yusuf and
Sherry.
let's get started. All
We're back. Second episode.
right, what do we have today?
Okay. So on our first episode, we talked a little bit about your hobby, DnD, which we're going to talk more about. But I wanted to ask you a few questions about my hobbies. So,
All right, let's go for it.
okay. What do you think that my hobby is? Or what would you say that my hobby is? Let's start with that.
What are they called? Documentaries,
Yes.
behavior, psychology, true crime, all these type of things.
Yes. That's what I do in my spare time. I'm kind of a weirdo.
A little bit on the behavior interests, at least.
Yeah.
Very strange things.
Do you know anybody else that likes to watch those things in their spare time other than me?
I'd imagine detectives and
No, like, do you know a real person
not a real person.
personally, like a friend or something?
No.
So what did you think about what did you think about that when you realized like that's what I do in my spare time?
I mean, it's okay, but a little bit strange. Psychology majors, I guess. Ladies do this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I am a psychology major.
So then I guess it's not too odd. I think it was initially odd and then it's okay.
Did you think that I'd find it weird that you did D&D in your
No.
spare time?
No.
Oh, you didn't think that was weird?
No.
Why? I mean,
It's a very normal thing to do.
well, I've never met anyone other than you and your friends that play D&D in my life. So I do find it strange, or I did. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Okay. Yes. Good job. So you did talk about documentaries. That's something that I like to watch. What are some other shows that I like to watch?
1,000-Pound Sisters. My Big Fat Fabulous Life.
Right. What's her name?
Ashley.
No.
Whitney.
Whitney.
Real Housewives of Atlanta, 90 Day Fiancé, Little People.
When was the last time I watched 90 Day Fiancé?
We only watched the first season, the Muhammad one.
Yeah,
That's it.
we haven't watched that in forever. But yes, the 1,000-Pound Sisters, that's one of my favorite shows.
But
They just came out with another season.
But these are shows separate from the behavior.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, these are just shows that I watch, like, you know, when I want something a little more lighthearted. You mentioned the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes.
So can you name the housewives?
Cynthia, Kenya, Portia, Candy, Phaedra.
Yeah,
She's not on anymore. And then
you're missing one of the main ones.
Yeah, I know her face.
Nene.
Nene.
Yeah, that's who you missed.
Nene. And then
she's like the original one.
Yeah, then they try to make fun of her, Chateau Chassé or something like that.
Oh, Sheree.
Sheree, yeah.
She came back, actually. She got off and then she came back.
Yeah.
So which of all the housewives, which one do you think is the most like me?
The most like you?
Yeah. Which one do you feel like, okay, that one probably would be friends with my wife, or they have a...
Probably Portia.
Yes! I literally, that one, she's the one that I would have. I feel like we would be friends. So kind of moving back into the D&D realm. So if you could pick a class, a D&D class for me as a character, which class would you put me in? Or which, like what type of character would I be?
So I would imagine you'd be either a sorcerer or maybe a ranger.
Wait, okay, so what are the classes again? What are all of them?
There's a bard. He plays musical instruments.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not me.
Smooth talker, seducer type.
No.
Then there's a barbarian. Is just a pure hulking type of fighter, like Hercules or Conan the Barbarian. Then there's
Conan the Barbarian.
yeah. Then
That's a cartoon, right?
and it's there's a TV show, all these type things. But yeah, it was a cartoon like He-Man.
That's like super, super old. Was that around our time growing up, He-Man?
I think it's a little bit before we were watching it, but yeah, I think it came out before. And then there's a monk class. He's like a martial artist, like a Shaolin monk. There's a fighter. It's just generalized, similar to a barbarian monk. There's a ranger class. He's like the bow and arrow guy, like Legolas from Lord of the Rings. Then there's a cleric. He's like a priest class. And then there's the wizard. He's the magician. And then there's the artificer. He's kind of like the magician, but he's the inventor. He makes things and things.
How is he like a magician?
Who, the wizard?
No, the artificer.
So they split up most of the classes into spellcasters, people who do magic, and then martial classes, people who mostly fight and don't have magic. And then they have hybrid classes. So the artificer is a hybrid class. So he can like make inventions or work with like apothecary, herbs and potions and whatnot. But like he's inventing, he's either making potions, he's making tools.
Like an alchemist.
Yes, like an alchemist. That's a subclass for him, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all classes have a subclass, yes. Then there's the rogue. He's the sneaky, scoundrel, stealer, stealth.
Scoundrel?
Yeah, this type of character.
Okay.
And I said the ranger, the bow and arrow guy. Paladin. He's a holy knight. He's like a fighter, but holy.
What?
Yeah, similar to the
It's
cleric.
like a monk.
Okay, so the monk's more just say kung fu guy. He's not to
So
do
he's
it.
not
He's not to do with religion. No, no,
okay.
no.
But the cleric. So
So
what's the difference between the cleric and the
And a
paladin?
Okay, so a cleric doesn't necessarily usually is attacking with like a sword or an axe. They may have like a mace or a scepter, and they're casting a lot of spells. The paladin, he's like a frontline guy, but with light holiness to him. And he takes oaths.
With light hole.
Yeah, you role play him as like he takes oath like, oh, I mustn't lie or mustn't do this. Paladins are the only class that have these oaths that you have to take. But you can just role play them. You don't have to.
What?
It says, like, it'll say your oath is this, and maybe just don't allow stealing. You're supposed to just.
Like that's the one
hang
thing
that.
you're just like,
So they give
I'm
you a
not
ways.
tolerating that.
Yes, you're like a super police officer type of person trying to take
With
it seriously.
powers.
With powers.
Because paladins are,
They're like priests. They like.
but they have magic.
Correct. They're like the hybrid. So they're a
Okay.
mix of the martial and the magic.
Okay.
So in this, they have a lot of things like undead. So there's different types of monsters or different types of enemies. Some enemies can be humans. Some enemies can be beasts. And then some enemies are the undead. Now, there are two classes, the priest, the cleric, and the paladin. They have like the light power. So it's against undead. So they have special abilities against the undead. They're the only two classes that have special. So you can see like they're light and holy.
So do the characters come with like built-in enemies? Like
They don't have built-in enemies necessarily. They may have, according to whatever world you're in, some lore, some background, some history. And in that, they may say, these are known as natural enemies or this and that. But you can roleplay, do whatever you want. Just go to the tavern and not do the adventure.
okay, so which class do you feel that I would belong to,
So I
or
think-
that I would play well? Yeah, which character do you think I would play well? Maybe not. That's my personality, but like,
Okay, I still think a sorcerer or a ranger. And the ranger, you have to pick a subclass. He's the bow and arrow guy. We're taking the animal companion beast subclass where you get a pet.
okay,
Okay, so you'd be interacting with your pet. Or you'd be the sorcerer, who's a charisma class, but mainly magic, cantrips. You'll be designing things, painting things, coloring things. You'll have opportunity to do a lot more fun, creative things. Most of the other martial classes is just you're hitting something really hard. You wouldn't have as much necessarily creativity in the downtime. I mean, you can always have unlimited creativity. You don't need magic.
Do you feel like it took a while for you to become creative while playing D&D? Or like, I know when I played it for the first time, I had trouble being creative. I was like, okay, I guess it's like lack of knowledge of knowing what you can and can't do, and really trying to expand your imagination. I had trouble. Is that something that you feel gets better over time? Like you get better at being creative?
I think in the beginning you're worried a lot more about the rules, maybe, and you're wondering are you doing everything correctly, this or that. But I think, the more comfortable you get, the more creative you may be. But also for some first-time players, sometimes their most creativity comes on that day because they don't know the rules. Once you start knowing the rules, you start getting a little bit jaded on your creativity, thinking you can't do that because now you know the rules.
I feel like there aren't very many rules in D&D.
There are not that many rules. A lot of it has to do with combat, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it has to do with magic. Look, it's still a game, so you have to balance things, and you have to balance things not just for the game, but you have to balance things for other players. If you're a martial class and I'm a magician, I can do magic. I might do things that are much more amazing than somebody who does not have magic. So when we're not fighting and we're just messing around, I can do a lot of at-will magical things that are much cooler than a regular human who just has a sword. So, okay, so with the resource, because it's a game, basically they have, you have levels, right? The max level is level 20. So when you're like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and you're a magician, you're not allowed to just cast an unlimited amount of magic. They limit your resources. They say you can only cast 4 spells per day. Or 5 spells per day.
Right. I remember running into that issue when we played. Like, I just wanted to do a bunch of things. It's like, wait, you can't because you don't have enough.
And then they have
health or whatever.
They categorize it as like apprentice level magic, then journeyman level magic, and then master level magic. So they put them as level 1 spells, level 2 spells, level 3 spells. So as a balance thing, you don't want something that's weaker to be as powerful as a level 8 spell. A level 1 spell shouldn't be as powerful as a level 8. Now with creativity, with imagination, you could probably make a level 1 spell as powerful as level 8. If you try, okay, there's
like combining multiple spells
something
together.
similar like, then there's there's at-will magic called cantrips. You can cast it an unlimited amount of times. So some you have 5 for the day, and then some unlimited. But they're usually much weaker, and they don't.
Are they like spells that come with you as a player? Like it's just a natural
at level 1, yes,
you have.
You'll gain a little bit more here and there, but it'll be like a basic attack with fire or ice, but it'll do very little. The martial classes will be outpacing you in terms of damage, but then they have these things called utility cantrips. Like one of them is you can, if you're all wet, similar to like Back to the Future 2, you can just air dry yourself. If it's all dirty, you can instantaneously clean it. If it's all clean, you can instantaneously dirty it.
What?
Yes.
But what good is that?
You want to make little doo-doo stains on somebody's bum or something like this and just laugh. Or you want to say, be a Karen, this is dirty. I need another. Like you're at a store or something like that. Then there's also like light fireworks, harmless. Yeah, a little spark. And then you can have like wave sounds going.
What?
Yeah, it's like harmless.
That's a cantrip?
Harmless sensory light. It can only go out 5 to 10 feet of sound or like a smell, a pleasant smell or a light foul smell. Or you can say, do you smell gas?
Right.
Something like this. Or you can create a sound, a small sound.
It's like I guess you can like a distraction. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. That's a good way to use those.
So one of them is called shape water. So shape water, you're allowed to control water. If you're ever familiar with Avatar, The Last Airbender,
right?
They all bend water, earth, this and that. So you can basically bend water. So a creative person will say, okay, I put water in the lock and then I because you can freeze it. And I freeze it. Now I should expand the lock, and then just break it.
You can break it, yeah.
So that's not even a level 1 resource.
It's a cantrip.
It's a cantrip.
Oh, so how do I do that? How do I do that?
So then it's not allowed.
But
it's not allowed.
What do you mean it's not allowed?
So that's what I meant by balance. Can you allow a level 1 spell do a level 8 spell? With creativity, yes. According to the book, no. Now, the rules will say... They'll usually say...
So the DM will say like, oh, no, you can't do that.
They'll just say, hey, this is kind of like a game. Because, look, it's not fair to then the regular fighter or the barbarian. He can't do nothing. That's what I told you. Magic people, they usually have a lot more.
So why wouldn't everybody just be a magical person?
I agree with you.
Is that usually what people pick?
But however, the way this game is, it is a team composition. So sometimes you do need
a little bit of everybody,
a beefy guy or a tanky guy, this or that. But you could build it with complete all magicians, and then you can just have the half casters.
Is that something that you try to do when you're creating your characters? Like before you start your campaign, you talk to the other players and you're like, hey, I'm going to be a magician. You need to be a barbarian or whatever.
Yeah, you can do that.
But is that typically what you guys do?
No, I mean, in a very real sense, you have to give everybody fair chance. For some people, this is like heresy. Like, no, the most important thing is...
It's like you're cheating or...
Well, no, they say the most important thing is you should do you. Don't do team composition and this or that. But those are like hardcore role-playing characters.
Well, I guess that's part of the fun, like to see what can we do with this,
But most people want to min-max and win. So they're going to tell you,
Are you
hey...
saying min-max?
Min-max, yes. Minimum, maximum.
Okay.
This is basically being efficient. I could take this or that. Well, I'm a min-maxer, so I probably should take this. This is going to be the best thing for me. I could take this and we'll be fine.
Right.
But I'm going to take the max. Like, I'm going to make sure that I get the optimal use of my resources.
Okay.
So you're like, oh, you want to be a fighter? Okay, don't be a human, be a dwarf. Why be a dwarf? Oh, he gets this. Oh, that'll be really good for my fighter. Exactly.
So people can just be human?
Yeah, so you can be human.
Why would anybody do that?
Because I don't know, you want to be treated normal. You don't want to be some weirdo type of person. I mean, there's a lot of races. It could be, depending on the world, a lot of racism.
What?
You remember like
in D&D?
Code Geass, like you 11, you dirty 11. The Japanese were called 11s. All hail Britannia. Remember?
Vaguely.
Okay.
What game? What movie is it? What
anime.
Which one?
Code Geass.
Was it called something else also?
Code Geass.
Code Geass?
Did you watch it? Is with his eye he can command people?
I don't know if I watched that.
No, okay.
Maybe you watched that with the kids.
No.
Okay, so there's racism in D&D, and if someone wants to be a human, they don't want to deal with that a lot of times. They want to be somebody that can just maneuver normally throughout the townspeople.
So there can be racism.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't want to misrepresent. There can be racism. It's easier to do racism against non-human. Well, it depends. If this world is everybody's a dwarf, then we'll be racist against humans, right?
Right.
Or you could be majority of this world is human, but they're not the ruling class, so we're still racist against those humans.
Let me ask you this: do you guys know what the campaign is before you create your characters? Like, do you know where you're going to be and what you're going to do?
You just talk to your DM.
Do they give you some of that information?
It depends on your DM. The DM can tell you, I'm running this type of campaign. Like I'm doing more thief missions.
I'm doing thief missions.
Yeah, but it's a certain category. So they say, okay, we're going to do social missions or faction play. This is what the campaign is. A very social heavy campaign.
Okay.
Right? This is very like a thief oriented, we're going to case joints and steal and run away.
To give you like a category of what you're going to be
or
doing.
You guys will be on an island by yourself with nobody, and you'll be going down like 20 levels of a dungeon. So it's just fighting. So yes, this is as much as they can tell. They could tell you, oh, we're going to be running Curse of Strahd, or we're going to be running Elemental
Right.
Evil.
That's what I was asking. Like, they give you...
Yeah, but you'll know the first time you're there, and then you could know.
Okay. And based on that, but by then you can't change your character. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you know what you're doing before you create your character? That's what I'm saying.
No, not
then
necessarily.
You can create a character based on what you think is going to be the most useful for that campaign.
I think most people create what they want, play what they want, and like most people, I never played fighter.
Until
I never played monk, or I'm really itching to play this, or want to try that. So,
okay.
And most people don't be spellcasters first. Most people be a non-spellcaster.
Well, I would think it'd be kind of difficult to be a spellcaster.
There's a little bit more rules, yes.
Yeah, you have to...
You have to prepare your spells. You have to do this and that. You have to keep track of resources. Mm-hmm. And then you have to read the spells. That's a lot of reading.
When you talked about racism, that made me think about The Witcher and how
they're racist against him.
They were racist. Yeah, like every time that he does something nice, then they start turning against him.
Yeah, racism works. Like the 90s X-Men cartoon, they had you damn muties, you damn mutants. So they had the regular people against the mutants.
Right. I remember.
And just that backdrop alone, is kind of perfect. Like people can get behind that, the underdog. Right. So it's something easy that the audience can connect to. So racism in storytelling, classism, if you look at like Game of Thrones, it's all looking down-ism, dwarf-ism, ladies-ism, noble poor person-ism, noble person bastard-ism. Everything is looking down-ism. So that's all the racism, statusism. It always works.
Just it adds another element to the story, to the campaign. Yeah. So when I know you guys just started, did you just start a campaign or you guys are continuing a campaign?
This was the first, we had session 0. And now, this was the first session. So it's the second session. But we did town.
What does that mean, town?
Town is a necessary evil in the sense of...
what is town?
So it's your hub city. You go out to the adventure or you go out into the world, you come back to your hub city. You go out to the adventure, you come back to your hub city. This is where you sleep. Maybe your family's there, the shops, the blacksmith. Usually you're going to stick with one city. There's hundreds of cities, sure, but you're usually coming back to this city, or the whole adventure is around this town, but then you still come back to the town. So what town is, you have to meet all the shopkeepers, you got to make chit chat, you got to go look at their wares, and usually they have all these, in video games, they have like an exclamation mark on top of their head. They have something to tell you, a quest. So town usually takes the whole session where you go all around town talking, because first time you never met these people before. So you have to role play meeting them, get information from them, get quests from them. And then generally right at the end, you start journeying on it and say, okay, guys, I've got to go now.
So when do you decide, like, okay, we're done with the session for today? The DM decides that, or it's just like a group decision of like, okay, I'm tired now.
Some people may have other places to go. Usually
in real life.
Yeah, usually people are getting phone calls from their wives.
Is there a video game that you feel is comparable to D&D, or which
they have D&D games?
No, not D&D video games, not those. But is there a game that you your eyebrows?
Is there a game that what?
Is there a game that you played that's like, yeah, like when I visualize what I'm doing in D&D, it looks like this?
Oh, so
I have one in my mind, but I'm curious if you...
I don't visualize at all when I play. I don't visualize when I read either. When I read books, I don't visualize, and when I play D&D, I don't visualize. Not visually seeing things. I'm very kinesthetic in the sense of I feel all the things that are happening. If somebody describes, his face is like this and it's hooked, he has a hooked nose.
You're not even thinking about none of that.
I don't see anything. I'm waiting for them to do something, so then it affects me, or it's meaningful in the story. and then that's how I see or feel, and then I can relate that to everything else that's happening. But actual visual cue, like I love Harry Potter, but I'm so grateful that I watched the movie first. Then I read the books. Same thing with like Game of Thrones. I'm not a visual person. But then I went to go ahead and read the books, and the books are amazing. And then when I see it says this character, yes, it's that. When it says the school or the castle looks like that, I'm not a good visual person, so then I use the visuals that I have. So when I play D&D, I almost don't see any visuals.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
So whenever you're playing video games, are you like trying to feel what the character is feeling on the screen? Like, how are you relating to the video games?
No, so a video game is a little bit more mechanical.
So it's just like I have to move my fingers and do.
No, okay. So what I mean by is like your enjoyment. Your enjoyment is mechanical. If you're playing a first-person shooter, the enjoyment is being able to kill them faster than they can kill you. So it's kind of like a game of skill. It's a skill shot. So you're feeling good about yourself that you're able to, like in sports, if you're able to make the basket, it's a skill shot. If you're in soccer, you're able to make the goal. That's a skill shot. You feel good about yourself. The other people aren't scoring. You're scoring.
Okay.
So in a video game, it's going to be much more mechanical feeling. I mean, it's the same thing with rolling dice. When you're rolling dice, that's the excitement. I mean,
that's the mechanical for you with D&D.
Yeah, gambling's not good, but you can't deny that gambling's exciting. So I think it's the thrill.
Lose all my money.
Well, I think it's the thrill of the unknown. You're not just going to guarantee that you're going to win. So I think so
it's similar to D&D. Gambling and D&D is very similar. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to actually have, because when you roll, it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to have enough power to do what it is I want to do. I hope I do, but
yeah, I guess you're going to roll a 20-sided dice for so many things, whether you succeed or fail. Like you try to lift something up very heavy, right? More heavy than usual. So now, yeah, sure, you can. If you pass this, then you do, and you don't. You were not able to do it.
But that's the exciting part, also.
Yeah, because when you're in combat, you're also rolling to hit. Mm-hmm. You missed. So it's a 20-sided die. If you roll a 1, it's a critical failure. You might shoot yourself.
Oh my god!
Or the sword drops on your foot. You drop your weapon. Your weapon flew. Now, if you get a 20, it's a critical hit, like a super success. So you'll double your damage. But what if the enemy crits you? So it's a very mathematical game, meaning it's about numbers and odds. So if you have 20 small rats, one of the weakest creatures in the game, that's still 20 rats rolling 20 dice, and a couple of them get 20s and crit you. A critical strike is a 20. A crit.
Okay.
A critical. So yeah, you guys could go down then. So you have to respect even the dirtiest, littlest creature in D&D because it's a math-based game, not anything else.
Now, I remember you saying that because
when it comes to combat, yeah.
Another game that we like to play is Hearthstone, and I remember you saying that a lot of people didn't like Hearthstone because it was like
too much RNG, too much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
randomness.
Yeah, it's like, well, you don't know what cards you're gonna get, you don't know what order you're gonna get them. Even if you've made your own deck, you don't know whether or not you're gonna get what you needed to possibly succeed.
But it wasn't.
So that similar? I mean, it sounds like it could be similar with D&D then.
No, the problem with Hearthstone was actually not you getting the cards. That's supposed to be you make your deck. That's controlled luck. That's kind of acceptable. What the problem with Hearthstone was a lot of the cards, the powerful cards were random. So you played, and then it could destroy everything, or it could not. And then if you're the player, opposing player, and that gets played on you, you feel like, well, a lot of it's out of my control because they're just playing like a lucky packet card, and it could just win them the game or not. Mm-hmm. No skill from their side, right? And they just kept on making a lot more cards like this. Now with D&D, you're bringing all your resources, you're controlling your luck as much as possible. And even with this rolling the dice, there's ways to roll the dice twice. There's ways to, even though you roll, you still get a flat +3 or a flat +5 or a flat +7 to your roll. And there's ways to increase that.
But you don't have control over that, though.
You have control over getting the flat 3, the flat 5, the flat 7 type of things.
That's you choosing your character and choosing what their
Yeah, and then you choose your upgrades, you choose this.
are.
Yes. So there's ways where you can try to guarantee that. There's a lot of gamified ways where you can increase your odds.
Okay.
But yes, it is still randomness.
It's some chance.
Chance, gambling, randomness.
Right.
It's dice. You're throwing dice.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have any control over that. Okay. So my next question was, what is your most memorable D&D adventure that you've played, or your most memorable scenario that you've played?
So the most memorable things are going to be when you get betrayed. At least for me, I've been betrayed 3 times. When you get betrayed, it's not a good feeling.
Betrayed by the players playing with you?
It's betrayed. I've been betrayed multiple different ways. So I'll just go one example. Okay, when you're betrayed in the moment, it's hurtful, but then the next session or afterwards, in reflection, oh, that was the greatest game I ever played. So the betrayal actually enhanced the situation. So we were playing a campaign, Elemental Evil or Princes of the Apocalypse. We were given a mission to go to this valley. There's some Earth cultists. We fight the Earth cultists. While we're fighting the Earth cultists, some people are flying in from the valley on hippogriffs. Hippogriffs are like Buckbeak from Prisoner of Azkaban, third Harry Potter movie. I think they're
Buckbeak. I have no
It's like a
idea.
mix of 2 animals. It has a beak. It has wings. You can mount it like a horse.
So how
anyways.
could you not visualize that?
It's a vehicle.
Okay, you
Like-
just don't even think about it, because that's like the very first thing I'm trying to do. Like, what does that look
Even
like?
if I saw it, it would be like from 100 feet away. Like that's how I say, I don't see it up close. And
it's just like a vague figure that has wings.
It's black and gray. It's not a lot of colors on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so they start coming and they saw us beating on those guys and they started helping us.
The Earth cultists saw you beating.
No. So these air cultists saw us. They came on the hippogriffs, flying beasts.
Oh,
air
they saw
cultists
you beat
coming
the
from
Earth
sky.
cultists.
They saw us beating down on these earth cultists and they started helping us because they also said, yeah, we have an earth cultist problem over here.
They started.
Yeah, they didn't like them. Anyways, so they said, thanks guys for doing that. We live up there,
Thanks,
and
guys.
at the top of the valley there's a spire, like a tall tower. And they said, yeah, we're over there. Come visit us.
hang out.
Yeah, come visit us. We said, okay, no
We're
problem.
friends now.
So then, it's a huge valley, and in the middle of the valley there's a small cave. We went to go visit the cave. There's these Aarakocra people, these bird humanoids. You can choose them as a race.
Okay.
And
Aarakocra.
yeah, we talked with them a little bit. Anyways, we left them. We went to the spire, visited the air cultist, and they have a leader there. His name is Marisoka. He's the leader of the air cultist.
So the air cultists and the Aarakocra are not the same people.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody who's a cultist is part of this Princes of the Apocalypse. It was 4 princes, like Fire Prince, Water Prince, Air Prince, and Earth Prince.
Okay.
Right. So, anyway, so these are their followers. So Marisoka, he's the leader of this spire, but not necessarily the leader of the air cult. Anyways, we talked with them. They celebrated with us. Thank you for defeating the Earth cultists. We're drinking together. Kanpai, all this type of stuff. And then at the top of the tower, there's a long spyglass that you can, like kind of like a telescope spyglass. So I started looking through it, and I saw on the map on the valley, it's very mountainous on the east side, but there's like a crack going down the mountain, and right at the bottom of the crack, there's like a ravine, like a little river coming out. So as I was looking there, I didn't roll very well on my perception check or your eyesight check, whatever that is. And the DM said, you saw like a humanoid shadowy figure. It looks like a human.
Oh my God.
But you can't really see. And you just saw somebody like go in and disappear. But you just can't see from there. If we went closer, we'll be able to see exactly what they're doing.
And you're looking into the woods?
No, I'm looking into the spyglass.
Where is it?
It's on the top of the spire. The
no,
spyglass.
okay, you're looking in through the spyglass, but where is it looking into? Like, where is
it's
it looking to?
I can look at the whole valley. I can see the Earth cultists where we beat down. I can see the Aarakocra, and then on the east side of this valley, the valley is between two huge, like, mountain ranges. On this side of the mountain range, there's a crack in one of the mountains, goes all the way down, and you can actually see like a ravine coming. So it looks like it's an opening. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I saw. So I went downstairs and I said, hey guys, hey
guys.
hey air cultists, hey Marisoka, I was looking in the spyglass and I saw some figures going in that crack over there by the mountains. Do you guys know what that's about? And they're like, no, we don't know. And so okay, that's fine.
Don't worry about it.
And as they told us that there was a manticore in this valley. And sometimes they go manticore hunting, and then Earth cultist he set this alarm. And he goes, hey, what's going on? It's like, oh, manticore got out. Let's go hunt it. They said, you guys want to come?
Manticore. What's a manticore?
Oh my god, a manticore. I think it's like a mix of 3 animals. I really don't know on the top of my head.
So as you can tell, I am a visualizer. Like, I want to visualize what's happening.
I think manticore may be like lion head, this tail, that, all this, and it can fly too.
Okay.
Anyway, so
but they hunt them.
This group, it's a little side mission for us to do. So
okay.
We said, oh, isn't it flying? It'll say, hey, just come on some hippogriffs. So we went on hippogriffs. We killed it. We came back. Everybody's celebrating again. Kanpai. We killed the manticore. Yay! Yeah. And then like, okay, let me go. We landed at the top, so I'm gonna go look at the spyglass again. And I rolled higher this time, and then I saw that.
Why do you keep looking in the spyglass?
Well, because I knew because I rolled low, and that there's something that's a shadowy figure. So I want to clear. I want to see what the heck that is. Yeah, I want a clear image. So I rolled higher, and then the DM said that they're wearing the uniform of the air cultists. It looks like it's one of these guys here from the spire, right?
Okay.
It doesn't mean that anything's bad. I'm just wondering, what's going on.
Yeah,
So,
I would think that'd be fine. It's like, oh yeah, we have some guys over there that are just looking into something.
I know, very innocent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I go downstairs and we're all celebrating, kanpai, everything. We're all, having a good time. And then I go, yeah, everything's so good. Hey guys, so, I was looking at the spyglass again and, it's okay guys, we're all friends now, I saw this, it's you guys, so what are you guys doing, And then everybody's laughing and just cheering. And then literally the Marisoka's guy's face, the DM said, it's like this. Like it's super serious. And then it just goes quiet. And then he says, I wish you wouldn't ask so many questions. I was like, what? What's going on? We start looking at each other. And then he like whistles. And then you start hearing. The DM says you start hearing footsteps, soldiers coming from the downstairs. It's a tower spiral.
Yeah.
And then footsteps coming from upstairs.
Oh no.
And they basically start ushering us out with weapons.
Oh my god.
To the top floor, and they start pushing us off the spire. Yeah. And I was really upset because we just came help you so nicely. We beat down the earth cultists for you.
So they're trying to kill you now.
We shared bread and drinks and all this stuff, and then we went to go kill the manticore for you. And I was just having a generally good time with these people.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, what is going on there? That's it. I just had a question. You can lie to me. You can just say it was this or it was that.
Right.
And then you decided to kill us. And I thought we had friendship. So that's betrayal. However, the best part is, so they kept on pushing us off. The DM was nice enough that the Aarakocra, the bird people, they were there. He was just saving us. We would fall and then one of them would be there. And so we would be to safety, but I was really upset. So while this is all happening, I made sure I was the last person. I said, yeah, I'm going to be the last person pushed. I kept on looking at my character sheet going, oh my God, I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to get this guy.
You're generally.
And yeah, I think we were only like level 3 or 4 at this time. I was a paladin.
What does that mean?
He's the martial class with some magic, the Holy Knight.
No, you said only level 3 or 4.
Yeah, so we're not like very powerful yet. Okay, so there's a level 1 spell called Command. Mm-hmm. You say one word, and they have to follow that word. So if you say kneel, they have to kneel. If you say drop, then they'll drop their weapon, whatever's in their hands. If you say jump, then they'll jump. So as they're pushing off everybody, they start coming to me, and I just go up there and I go on the ledge, and I just stretch out my arms and I fall backwards, and I look at Marisoka and I say, follow. I use the command spell follow.
Oh my God. You made him jump off.
No, so he had some guards up there with him, and he had 4 guards, and the DM, he really didn't like this because, I mean, in a sense, a mini boss is going to get killed, basically. So he was trying to save him. So he had all the guards go, no, Marisoka, no, don't go. So they're all trying to grab at him.
Right.
So there was 4 rolls, but they all rolled with advantage. I don't know why they were given advantage, but they were all given advantage, and they all failed.
Wow.
Yeah, I was praying a lot. I was very angry. Anyway, so now he's falling off with me, and then the session ended, and then we had to start.
Oh my God, he cut the session off
there.
And
then in the next session, whatever the distance is, when 10 feet of falling damage is considered 1d6 dice of damage. So if you fall 100 feet, you're going to take 10d6 damage. You're probably going to die. So I don't know how tall it was, but combat is 6 seconds. So every round of combat, when you fight, then time stops. You can't take regular actions anymore. And every round you are imagining it's 6 seconds. Okay. So he's going to fall for 6 seconds in one round. And these are air cultists. So I was imagining they have flight suits or some type of flying spell, or gently gliding down their air cultists. So I imagine they had some way of protecting themselves from falling from high heights. So the DM said, yeah, he'll basically be free to do what he is. You don't know what he has, but he'll be free to take his turn. So I had to cast follow one more time, and then he splat. We stole his shoes. We had magical shoes. We took his shoes, and then we jet. And
did he die? He splat.
He died. He died. And then
so you killed one of the characters.
Yeah, that was very good. But a lot of them, they just started jumping off and started trying to follow us.
So I want to thank you guys for joining us again for our second episode. I think Yusuf did pretty good with the questions. He knew a lot. I was impressed of how much he knew about my hobbies. So you did. Yeah, you did pretty good.
High five.
Yes. Teamers. But make sure you guys subscribe.
Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Watch these videos.
And share. Make sure you share our videos.
And like.
Yeah, I said like.
Okay. I didn't say like. Yeah.
But thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
And we'll see you next time on episode 3.
Bye-bye.
Bye.